There are moments in life when the ground beneath you feels unsteady, when nothing aligns with your expectations, and when every step forward feels like walking into the unknown. Yet in those very moments, there is a quiet voice speaking to your spirit saying, "Trust the path I am guiding you on." Even when you cannot see the destination, even when the process feels slow, even when the delay feels heavy, what you call uncertainty, God calls direction. What you call confusion, God calls preparation. And what you call waiting, God calls alignment. The path that is chosen for you often unfolds in ways that challenge the boundaries of your understanding. It rarely follows the lines you would draw for yourself because it is designed from a higher perspective. When life leads you in a direction that does not make sense, your first instinct may be to question whether you are truly being guided or whether you have somehow stepped off track. Yet it is in these moments that the deeper wisdom behind the journey begins to reveal itself. The unfamiliarity of the path is not proof of misdirection. It is proof that new strength, vision, and awareness are being awakened within you. If the way ahead felt predictable, you would never grow into the fullness of who you are meant to become. Purpose does not live inside comfort zones. It lives inside the steps that stretch you, the decisions that require courage, and the seasons that demand trust before clarity arrives. The logic you rely on is shaped by what you have already experienced. It is built from past knowledge, past patterns, and past assumptions. But the path chosen for you is shaped by what you have not yet encountered. It is shaped by opportunities your current understanding cannot anticipate. The higher plan guiding your life is connected to doors you have not yet opened, people you have not yet met, and strengths you have not yet discovered. This is why the journey can feel confusing at times. You are being led toward a future that your present vision cannot fully see. When the direction shifts unexpectedly, it is not because something has gone wrong. It is because something deeper is unfolding. You are being pulled toward the version of yourself that is capable of receiving what the future holds, even if that version is still in the process of forming. There are times when the path will take you through seasons that feel heavy, lonely, or uncertain. In those moments, you might wonder why the road could not be smoother. The truth is that every challenge along the way carries a purpose. Every moment of pressure forms resilience. Every moment of confusion pushes you to listen more closely. Every moment of waiting strengthens your patience and your ability to trust what is unseen. If everything unfolded perfectly and instantly, you would never learn how to stand firmly in faith. You would never learn the discipline of trusting that there is meaning in the struggle. The purpose of the path is not only to lead you to the destination, but to refine you during the journey. Growth is not born from comfort. It is born from experiences that demand a deeper connection to your inner guidance and a greater understanding of your own strength. The path chosen for you may pull you away from familiar places, habits, or people. This can create a sense of loss or disorientation because the mind tends to cling to what feels safe. Yet safety is not always aligned with destiny. Sometimes the very things you try to hold on to are the things that limit your growth. When the path takes you away from environments that no longer support your evolution, it is not punishment, it is liberation. You are being moved into spaces where your purpose can breathe, expand, and unfold. You are being guided away from what would keep you stagnant. The breaking away is often the beginning of becoming. Every shift, even the painful ones, has a purpose in shaping your future. Trusting a path that feels illogical requires inner stillness. It requires the willingness to believe that there is a higher intelligence at work, even when the details are unclear. You must learn to quiet the noise of doubt, fear, and impatience so you can hear the whisper of direction. Guidance does not always arrive with a loud announcement. Often it arrives as a quiet nudge, a gentle instinct, or a persistent sense that you must take a step, even without knowing where it will lead. The more you learn to listen to these subtle signals, the clearer your path becomes. Intuition is the language of alignment, and the path responds when you follow it with honesty and courage. The second keynote invites you into a deeper understanding of trust. Trust grows when you release the need to control the outcome. Control is rooted in fear. It is the mind's attempt to manage every possibility so nothing unpredictable can happen. But life cannot be lived through fear if you want to experience true alignment. The desire to control every detail often closes the door to what is meant for you. When you try to force outcomes, You limit the flow of guidance. You become attached to a single idea of how things should unfold, and in doing so you can miss the opportunities that are trying to reach you from unexpected directions. Letting go of control is not the same as giving up responsibility. It is the recognition that your responsibility is to take aligned steps, not to manipulate every outcome. You are meant to follow the inner guidance that leads you one step at a time. You are not meant to predict the entire journey before taking the first step. When you release the burden of trying to plan every detail, you create space for new possibilities to enter. You create space for clarity to rise naturally instead of being forced. You create space for timing to unfold without resistance. The path becomes lighter when you accept that your role is to follow guidance, not to dominate it. Releasing control also means releasing the fear of what you cannot yet see. The unknown is not your enemy. It is the space where transformation happens. It is the space where hidden opportunities, blessings, and growth are forming long before they become visible. When you cling to the need for certainty, you close yourself off from the beauty of discovery. You rob yourself of the chance to be surprised by how perfectly things can unfold when you allow the process to breathe. Trust requires you to believe that the unfolding is working in your favor even when you cannot see the entire picture. It requires you to understand that every step is meaningful, even the ones that feel slow or confusing. As you learn to release control, you also learn the power of surrender. Surrender is not passive, it is a conscious decision to align your actions with faith instead of fear. It is the willingness to follow inner guidance, even when your mind attempts to calculate alternatives. It is the ability to trust that the timing is right, even when your expectations are not met. Surrender is the foundation of true trust. Without it, the journey becomes a constant battle between your instincts and your doubts. With it, the journey becomes a partnership between your actions and divine direction. The more you surrender the need to control, the more you begin to recognize the subtle signs guiding you. You notice moments of clarity that appear unexpectedly. You notice opportunities that arrive in perfect timing. You notice how the right people enter your life at the exact moment you need them. You begin to understand that alignment is not accidental. It is the result of trusting the path rather than resisting it. It is the result of allowing yourself to be guided rather than forcing your own limited version of how things should unfold. Trust deepens when you realize that releasing control does not weaken you. It strengthens you. It teaches you resilience, patience, and inner peace. It teaches you how to navigate life with clarity even when circumstances shift. It teaches you to respond with confidence instead of fear. When you stop trying to predict the future, you become more present in the moment. You begin to appreciate the lessons, insights, and blessings that are available right now instead of focusing only on what is ahead. The journey becomes richer when you stop racing toward the destination and start trusting each step along the way. Trusting the path and releasing the need to control go hand in hand. One teaches you to believe in the purpose behind every step. The other teaches you to let go of the fear that prevents you from stepping forward. Together they create a foundation that allows you to walk with confidence, clarity, and peace, even when the road ahead is uncertain. The path you are on is shaping you in ways you do not yet fully understand. The challenges are building your strength. The delays are building your patience. The redirections are leading you toward what is truly meant for you, and the moments of uncertainty are teaching you how to trust deeper than ever before. Delays on the path often feel like the most difficult seasons to understand, because they challenge your expectations, your patience, and your sense of timing. When you believe you are ready for the next chapter, but life holds you in place, you may begin to wonder if something has gone wrong. The mind quickly interprets delay as rejection, imagining that the dream is slipping away or that the promise has somehow been forgotten. Yet delay is rarely a sign of denial. It is often a protective barrier placed between you and something you are not fully prepared to receive. It is a pause that ensures the next step in your journey aligns with your highest good, rather than your immediate desires. What feels like stillness on the outside is often a season of preparation on the inside. You are being strengthened, refined, and equipped in ways that are not always visible. Circumstances are shifting behind the scenes, connections are forming out. of sight and opportunities are being prepared that require exact timing to function in your favor. During the delay, it is natural to feel anxious or restless. You may question why others seem to be moving forward while you feel held in place. You may compare your journey to that of others and wonder why your progress feels slow or complicated. But the comparison steals your focus from what is truly happening within your own path. Your journey is uniquely designed and cannot be measured by someone else's timeline. The pace of your progress is not a punishment. It is a sign that something bigger is being built. The delay is shaping your character, deepening your strength, and sharpening the clarity you will need when the next step finally opens up. You cannot rush what requires maturity. You cannot skip what requires understanding. You cannot bypass what requires emotional or spiritual growth. The delay is the classroom that prepares you for the blessing you asked for. There are moments when delay appears as unanswered prayers. You may ask for something repeatedly and receive silence in return. This silence is not neglect, it is guidance. Sometimes what you pray for is too small compared to what is truly meant for you. Sometimes what you want is not what you need. Sometimes the timing would place you in a situation that would overwhelm you instead of elevate you. Delay teaches you to trust that silence is not emptiness. Silence is direction. Silence is protection. Silence is preparation. When the answer finally arrives, you will understand why the waiting was necessary. You will see how everything that once felt slow was actually aligning perfectly in your favor. In the moments of delay, you are invited to shift your perspective. Instead of viewing the pause as a setback, you begin to see it as an opportunity to refine what is within your control. You can strengthen your skills, deepen your understanding, heal unfinished emotional wounds, and prepare yourself mentally and spiritually. This inner work becomes the foundation for what is coming next. Without this preparation, you may enter the next chapter unready, unable to handle its responsibilities, or incapable of sustaining its blessings. The delay is not keeping you from your destiny. It is preparing you for it. It is ensuring that when the moment arrives, you can enter it with confidence instead of fear, with readiness instead of desperation, and with clarity instead of confusion. Just as the earth requires time for seeds to germinate, your life requires time for growth that is not visible on the surface. You do not dig up seeds every day to check on their progress. You trust the process even though the work is hidden beneath the soil. The same is true for your journey. Much of what is meant for you is developing beneath the surface, far beyond your view, but fully within divine timing. The delay is the soil of transformation. In that soil, resilience grows. In that soil, confidence grows. In that soil, faith grows. When the breakthrough finally emerges, it appears sudden to others, but you will know it was the result of unseen preparation. The delay was not wasted time, it was essential time. The fourth keynote teaches you to understand the purpose of redirection. Every redirection in your life is a message that something better is being prepared for you. Redirection often arrives in moments where your plans fall apart, your expectations crumble, or your path suddenly shifts in a direction you did not anticipate. It can feel frustrating or confusing, especially when you were certain that your original plan was the right one. But the refusal of one path is often the protection of another. At times you may pursue opportunities or relationships with the belief that they are meant for you. Yet what you see is only a fraction of the full picture. The path you desire may carry unseen challenges, hidden dangers, or limitations that would block your growth. Redirection is the unseen. Guidance that steers you away from what would harm you or hold you back. When a door closes, it can feel personal. You may feel rejected or overlooked. But a closed door is often a blessing disguised as disappointment. It is a way of saying that you deserve something more aligned, something more fulfilling, something that matches the depth of your potential. Redirection is not an interruption of your journey, it is a refinement of it. You are being guided toward a path that resonates more deeply with who you are and who you are becoming. The shift may catch you off guard, but it is never random. It arrives with purpose, even if the purpose is not immediately clear. Redirection teaches you to release rigid expectations. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned, because rigid plans limit your ability to grow. When you cling too tightly to one idea of what your future should look like, you may overlook opportunities that exceed your imagination. You may ignore signs that the path you chose is too small for your destiny. Allowing redirection means allowing expansion. It means trusting that there is a greater vision unfolding for you, one that requires you to step beyond your comfort zones. The new direction may lead you into unexplored opportunities, new environments or relationships that will ultimately elevate your life in ways you could not have predicted. The moments of redirection also offer deeper self-discovery. When your path changes, you begin to see strengths, talents, and parts of yourself that may have remained hidden if your original plan had worked out. You learn how adaptable you are, how resilient you are, and how capable you are of embracing the unknown. Redirection stretches you in ways that build confidence and courage. You learn to let go of what is no longer aligned and make room for what is truly meant for you. Every shift is a conversation between your present self and your future self. The present may resist, but the future is calling you forward. With clarity, there is a profound peace that comes when you begin to trust redirection instead of resisting it. You start to understand that if something is removed from your life, it is because it was never meant to stay. If you are led away from a certain place, it is because your growth requires new surroundings. If you are pushed out of a situation, it is because a better opportunity is forming. Redirection becomes a sign of expansion rather than loss. It marks the beginning of a new season rather than the end of a good one. You begin to move through life with confidence because you know you are being guided towards something meaningful, even if the path looks unfamiliar. Redirection also teaches you how to navigate uncertainty with grace. You learn to trust your inner guidance rather than external noise. You learn to stay aligned with your purpose even when circumstances shift. You learn to remain flexible while also staying grounded in your intentions. When you embrace redirection, you no longer panic when plans change. Instead, you become curious about what new possibilities are emerging. You understand that every shift carries a message, a lesson, or a blessing. As you reflect on the patterns in your life, you may notice that some of the greatest opportunities arrived after moments of disappointment. Some of the most meaningful relationships came after others ended. Some of your most powerful breakthroughs followed times when you felt lost. Redirection was the bridge that carried you from what was not aligned to what was destined. Every unexpected turn brought you closer to clarity. Every closed door led you to a better one. Every detour revealed a new possibility. When you look back, you see that redirection was never punishment. It was protection, guidance, and elevation woven into every step of your journey. Guidance often arrives in ways that are quieter than expected. Many people wait for a dramatic sign, a loud confirmation, or a clear external message, believing that clarity must appear in bold and unmistakable ways. But the truth is that real guidance is subtle. It speaks through intuition, inner calm, and the quiet sense of knowing that rests beneath the noise of fear and doubt. When you begin to pay attention to the gentle signals within you, you discover that direction has always been present. It does not shout. It whispers. It does not force. It nudges. It does not overwhelm your thoughts. It rises above them with a soft certainty that feels like truth. Learning to trust this inner voice is essential because it serves as the bridge between your present path and your future unfolding. It is the internal compass that points toward alignment, even when the external world feels chaotic. The voice of intuition does not compete with fear. Fear is loud, urgent, and demanding. It fills your mind with what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. It focuses on what could go wrong and amplifies uncertainty. Intuition, however, is calm and steady. It does not push you, it guides you. If fear shakes you, intuition settles you. If fear confuses you, intuition clarifies you. The more you learn to distinguish between the two, the easier it becomes to follow the path meant for you. Intuition does not require explanations. It simply feels right. It is that sense of peace you experience even when a decision is difficult. Peace is one of the strongest indicators of alignment, and when you learn to trust it, you discover that the path forward becomes clearer with each step you take. Listening to inner guidance requires you to slow down the noise of the outer world. Often people drown their own intuition by constantly seeking advice, approval, or reassurance from others. While counsel can be helpful, it should never replace your internal voice. No one else can fully understand your purpose, your destiny, or the hidden guidance shaping your journey. When you rely too heavily on external opinions, you risk stepping onto paths that were never meant for you. The journey becomes confusing because you begin living through someone else's expectations, rather than your own truth. Learning to trust inner guidance means learning to become still, learning to observe your own feelings, and learning to recognize the quiet clarity that rises within you when you ask for direction. There are moments when intuition guides you in ways that do not make sense logically. It may urge you to let go of something you are attached to. It may encourage you to pursue an opportunity that seems uncertain. It may pull you toward a path that feels unfamiliar or challenging. But when you follow intuition, you begin to see that it always leads to growth. It sees the bigger picture. It sees possibilities your rational mind cannot yet comprehend. It sees connections forming long before they become visible. It leads you toward experiences that expand your life rather than limit it. The more you trust this guidance, the more you begin to feel supported, even in the unknown. Inner guidance is also strengthened through practice. Every time you follow a small nudge and see how things align, your trust grows. Every time you act on a quiet instinct and watch how it leads to clarity, your confidence increases. You begin to realize that guidance has always been present, waiting for you to listen. As you continue to trust it, you develop a relationship with your own inner wisdom that becomes unshakable. Decisions that once felt overwhelming become easier because you no longer search for certainty outside yourself. You discover that certainty comes from alignment, and alignment comes from listening to the voice within that knows what is right for you before you consciously understand it. The sixth keynote teaches you that trusting the path does not only lead you toward your destiny, it shapes you into someone capable of carrying that destiny. Many people want the destination without the transformation. They desire the blessing, the opportunity, or the breakthrough, but resist the growth required to sustain it. The journey is not just about arriving somewhere, it is about becoming someone. Every challenge you face, every delay you experience, every redirection you encounter is part of a greater process designed to strengthen you for what lies ahead. Growth does not happen instantly. It develops through repeated lessons, through patience, through resilience, and through learning to trust even when clarity is incomplete. During the process of transformation, you begin to discover parts of yourself that would have remained hidden if the path had been easy. You learn about your capacity for endurance when you face situations that test your strength. You learn about your capacity for patience when you are asked to wait longer than expected. You learn about your capacity for courage when you step into unfamiliar situations. You learn about your capacity for trust when you must move forward without all the answers. Every season reveals something about you that you may not have known before. These discoveries are not accidents. They are part of the preparation that shapes you into a version of yourself that can hold the blessings you once prayed for. If the destination arrived too early, you might not have the wisdom to maintain it. If the opportunity appeared before you were ready, it could overwhelm you instead of uplift you. If the responsibility came before your character was refined, you might mishandle it. That is why the path is designed to develop you gradually. The moments of difficulty refine your discipline. The moments of uncertainty deepen your faith. The moments of disappointment strengthen your resilience. Through every experience, you are being shaped into someone with the capacity to embrace the fullness of your destiny. The transformation is not punishment, it is preparation. You are not just being guided to a place, you are being shaped into the person who belongs there. Transformation also requires you to release aspects of yourself that no longer serve your growth. You may outgrow old beliefs, old habits, or old identities that were once comfortable but now limit your expansion. Letting go can be difficult because the familiar often feels safe. But the familiar can also become a cage if it keeps you from becoming who you were meant to be. As the journey unfolds, you learn to detach from what restricts your progress. You learn to move with purpose rather than fear. You learn to trust that what you lose along the way is making room for what is meant to enter. Transformation is never about losing yourself. It is about discovering your true self beneath the layers of doubt, fear, and limitation. As you develop into a stronger version of yourself, the path ahead becomes more aligned because your energy shifts. You begin to attract opportunities that resonate with your new level of growth. You begin to connect with people who reflect your expanded understanding. You begin to make decisions that align with your purpose rather than your insecurities. The journey becomes smoother because you become more aware of who you are and what you are meant to do. The path does not change. You do. And because you change, you walk through life with more clarity, confidence, and peace. Trusting the path transforms your relationship with uncertainty. Instead of fearing the unknown, you begin to embrace it. Instead of resisting change, you begin to welcome it. Instead of doubting yourself, you begin to believe in your own inner strength. You realize that uncertainty is not emptiness. It is possibility. It is the space where your future is forming. It is the opening through which new opportunities enter. When you stop fearing uncertainty, you stop limiting your potential. You begin to explore life with curiosity rather than hesitation. You step forward with faith rather than fear. You trust that whatever lies ahead will guide you further into alignment with your true purpose. As the journey continues, you begin to see how the transformation within you aligns with the transformation around you. You notice how situations that once overwhelmed you no longer shake you. You notice how challenges that once discouraged you now motivate you. You notice how obstacles that once blocked you now teach you. This shift is proof that the journey is working. You are evolving, you are deepening, you are becoming. Every experience, whether joyful or difficult, contributes to this unfolding. The destination becomes less important than the person you are becoming along the way. You realize that true fulfillment comes from growth, not from rushing toward an outcome. When you look back at the moments of pain, confusion, or delay, you begin to understand their purpose. They were not interruptions in your life. They were instructions. They taught you patience. They taught you strength. They taught you trust. They taught you how to listen to your inner voice. They taught you how to recognize alignment. Without these moments, you would not have developed the foundation needed to support what lies ahead. The journey has been preparing you for the future in ways you did not recognize at the time. The transformation was happening beneath the surface, shaping you quietly and powerfully.